Hello my friends and welcome to another video. So this one I am doing a tag and I was tagged by Becky and Scott from the Bookish Bryants. I'll have their channel listed below and I highly recommend, if you do not know who they are, have not checked them out, that you do so. So this tag has 14 questions, and this is called the book addiction tag. So let's go ahead and get into this. So I have all of the questions written down, so I will refer to this because I'm just not going to memorize the questions. So question number 1, what is the longest amount of time you can comfortably go without picking up a book? This one, it depends. If I go on vacation, I can pretty much go a couple of days without picking up a book. At home, just normal everyday life, I want to read every day. Now if the day is so busy or I do not feel well, then I can go a day or two, need be, without picking up a book. But pretty much almost every day I go and I pick up a book, whether I just read a page or two one day or a couple of paragraphs to over 100 pages another day. It all varies. It all depends on how I'm feeling and how busy the day is. So I think that's as good of an answer as you're going to get for that. Question number 2. How many books do you carry on your person, physical or device, at any one time? Again, this varies. On my person, like a physical book, I carry one. Unless I know I'm going to finish that particular book and want to start another book, then sometimes I might carry 2, but it depends on how thick. I'm not going to take 2 big books. I might take a smaller book if I have a big book, but for the most part, 1 book. As far as ebooks, I have no idea. I have not counted that. That's just, and I have Kindle Unlimited, so it's just like there's just a plethora. I don't have a lot downloaded on my reader, which I can access on my phone, but I have no idea how many there are, so that one is just unknown. Question number 3. Do you keep every book you buy or receive, or are you happy to pass them on to make space for more? I would prefer to keep every book I buy or receive. I pass them on if they're kind of just meh books. If I don't ever see myself rereading them, then I will gladly pass them on. Or if I absolutely do not like the books, so anything from meh to absolutely hate the book, will I get rid of. And when I say get rid of, we have here, in, at least in my area in Utah, I saw one at the Walmart that's up by me that's like a 2-minute drive, if that. There's this big blue metal container and it says books right on the side of it. And it's where you go and you put books that you no longer want, that you're wanting to donate. They go to schools, they go to libraries, they go to used bookstores or charity shops. If none of the places mentioned want them, then they will recycle them. So I've been putting things in there more, especially with COVID, where a lot of places are not accepting things. These things are still there. I'm sure they have protocol that they empty them every so often. They let them sit and everything, but that's what I am starting to do. And so I hope to always keep in mind where those are, because I think to donate them to schools and libraries and anything else to try and help promote literacy is a great thing. So again, I will lend a book out if I love it and someone wants to borrow it because they can't get it from their library, but I expect that book back. So there's that. Number 4, how long would you spend in a bookshop on a standard visit? If I could, I would spend all day. I love to look at the books and find new authors and be attracted to other books based on their covers and see what they're recommending. I know like at the Barnes & Noble by me, they have like staff picks. I don't know if all Barnes & Nobles do that, but this one they have books that their staff has particularly been enjoying, so they set those out there. So it's just fun to browse and find new authors and stuff like that. But with the way my back is, there's no way I can spend maybe 45 minutes to an hour on a good day. Sometimes only 10-15 minutes, because if I'm on my feet too long, my back really hurts, and that's because of the arthritis and all the other issues that I have going on. So I spend as long as I can physically. If it weren't up to my body, I would stay longer. So yeah. Anyway, so number 5, how much time per day do you actually spend reading? This completely varies. So I can spend less than 5 minutes reading if I only read like a paragraph because I'm just so busy, or I'm not feeling well, or I think like I'm in the kind of physical and mental space where it's like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm going to try reading, spend a minute or two reading, go, I just am not up for it. I don't want to spend this brain capacity reading. So then I just wander through YouTube and go down a hole there. So I can spend anywhere from a couple of minutes to several hours in a day reading, picking a book up whenever I have the chance, especially on my days off from work when I don't have doctor's appointments and other things going on. I can easily spend most of the day reading. So like 8 hours, like it's a job, I can spend a lot of time reading. Number 6, where does the task picking up a book appear on your daily to-do list? I am going to say it doesn't. To me, picking up a book is not a task unless it's required reading for something. And that was only when I was in school. So it's just whenever I feel like it. If I am very much the type of person, I will make a to-do list, but then I will read so many pages or a chapter, depending on how long the chapters are. I will read for a certain amount of time, and then I'll do a task on my to-do list, like change the sheets on my bed. Once that's done, I will spend some time reading some more pages or more chapters, and then when I get to a certain point, I'll move on to task number 2. So that's just what I do. I break up the monotony and boringness of my to-do list with enjoyment of reading. If I'm not in the headspace to read, then obviously between each task I would watch a YouTube video. But for the most part, I do pick up a book between each task. Sometimes that drives my mother nuts because she's very much the personality that it's like, get it all done and then enjoy the time. I want to enjoy my time while I'm doing stuff and reward myself for completing a task I think is very dull and that I really don't want to be doing. So that's what I do. Number 7, how many books do you reckon you own in total, including ebooks? Okay. I know how many physical books I own. I will divulge that to you. How many ebooks? I have not counted. Same thing with audiobooks. So I'm not going to include that in this total. My audiobooks is gradually increasing as I'm finding, like on Scribd or when I have a credit on Audible. I really enjoy listening to the audiobook while I read along. For me, that helps the story sink in, and I pick up on things a lot better that way. So if I can, I will listen along while I read. I can't always do that, but that's what I do. So my audiobook selection is gradually increasing. As far as ebooks, again, I am a part of Kindle Unlimited, so I have downloaded a few books. There's this kind of witchy series I downloaded because it sounds cute, and then there was a black cat on the cover with a witch. So stereotypical witch thing, but and I think there was like 6 in that, and I got and that was like with unlimited, and so I'm going to be working my way through that. But I just have access to so many, so I'm just not including that. As far as my physical books go, let me just pull that up on my phone. I do have every physical book I own logged into Goodreads, and I have it divided into several shelves. I have my own -TBR. I have my own read. Now my owned, when I move a book from, I don't know. Anyway, So the books I have yet to read on my shelf is 474 books. So I got a lot of books. I have read 143 books. So I have seven, one, five, 617 books. Some of those books I have read, I have up in my closet because they are my absolute favorites. I want easy access to those, but I want to make room on my bookshelves for new books. So, yeah. Now, this does not include any books I have a duplicate of. Like, I have a duplicate of Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom because I love those books, and those are the special editions that I have that are foiled. So that does not include that. So I have more than what I have logged in here, but there's that. So, I have a lot, and what I love more, absolutely. Anyway, let's just move on. Let's see. Number 8. Approximately how often do you pick up books in let me rephrase that. Approximately how often do you bring up books in conversation? Never. Conversation is very hard for me. Part of it is because of my autism and me analyzing everything. I will not start a conversation. Now someone else can start a conversation, but I will not. Now they may ask me what I'm reading if I'm reading something, but that's pretty much the extent of that. I just will not start a conversation, and I have trouble knowing how to bring up certain topics. Like just out of the blue saying, hey, do you read? Are you a reader? I don't want to come across being condescending and like, do you know how to read? Do you even read, or are you wasting time doing whatever else? I don't think, I would hope I don't come across as that. But I do not bring up books. I wait for people to bring things up to see what I'm reading. And especially like when I was at work, people would come to me to see what I'm reading. So yeah, I mean, I do have a coworker now that I know she loves to read. So if I'm reading something I think she will like, then I will send her a text message saying, I highly recommend this book. And she'll definitely add it to her list to check into. But that's pretty much the only time I bring up a book. I just can't. If I'm in a crowd or by someone, the thought of starting any sort of a conversation just gives me a ton of anxiety because, again, it's, am I saying things right? Am I coming across a certain way? Are they not wanting to talk? Are they wanting to talk? It's just way too stressful for me. So, yeah, there's that. All right. Number 9. What is the biggest book, page count wise, you have finished reading? The first one that comes to my mind is Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I have that one up in my closet. Let me go to Goodreads and Priory of the Orange Tree. Got it. It's coming up. And let's look at details. This one looks like it's around, oh, well, this is the Kindle edition. I don't want the Kindle edition. I want the hardcover. So let's switch to that. And it says it's around 830 pages. So that is the longest book I have ever read, have ever tried to read. I have read books that are over 400 and over 500, but Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon is the longest one I have ever read and completed. Number 10. Is there a book you had to get your hands on against all odds? For example, searched a bookstore, online digging, stalked an author, etc. No. That's an easy no. I am pretty content with having usually just one edition. If they change the cover, I mean, that does bug me when they change the cover. When they release one or two books and all of a sudden change things. That does bug me. If I have an edition for something and I stumble across a different edition that has a cover I like better, I have no problem buying it. Or if there's ones that I absolutely love and I see that they're now coming out with special editions every year or so, I'll just kind of keep an eye out for it. But if I don't end up collecting the whole thing and just get one or two of them, that's fine. I just every now and will think about it and look, but I just don't. I'm not one that has to hunt down a particular book or stand in line on release date. I will wait a day or two so I don't have to stand in line. So the answer to that is no. Number 11. Is there a book you struggled to finish because you refused to DNF? I'm sure there is. I am fairly new to DNFing books. I did not used to. I would force my way through a book because, and I still struggle with DNFing a book because in my mind, I'm afraid of offending other readers if I DNF a book, which I'm finally fine with that. But I'm also afraid of offending the author of the book, the publishers of the book, and sometimes I'm afraid of offending the book. And I know books don't have feelings, but in my mind, inanimate objects, which I understand they're inanimate objects, but I have a hard time sometimes when it comes to DNFing or letting things go, because this fear just comes up that I'm offending that particular object, that doll, that book, colored pencil, something like that. And so I used to push my way through. I can't remember what I've done. I am much better with DNFing things and just saying it wasn't for me. I wasn't enjoying it. And just moving on to a book that I absolutely love, because I don't want to take a whole month or more than a month, which I have taken a couple of months to read a book because I did not like it and did not want to DNF. Do I remember what that book was? No. I don't remember anything about that book. I just remember struggling. So, yeah, I have refused to DNF. I am now at the point where I am much more comfortable with it, but sometimes I still do struggle. Number 12. What are 3 or some of your main book goals for the year? My biggest book goal is it's kind of a twofer, a 2-in-1. I want to keep track of the genres to see if my reading is as diverse as I think it is, as far as if it's fantasy, non-fic. I know I read more fiction than non-fiction. Or what about like fantasy versus science fiction versus mystery and thriller and chick lit or cozy mystery, and just to see how varied genre-wise it is. I'm also wanting to keep track now of so part 2 of that is also the age ranges. Do I read more adult? Do I read more young adult? Are they kind of the same? I know I don't read as much middle grade, but I am starting to. So I want to keep track of the age ranges as well. Not just adult, new adult, and middle grade, but also children's books. I have no problem reading picture books if I really want to, if I think they're cute. And I mean, they're quick, really quick, easy read. And so, again, I have no problem with that. And I just don't really have any, but that's besides the point. So those are my 2 main goals. As far as like my Goodreads goal, for the first time ever, I set my Goodreads goal at 100. The highest I set before that was like at 60. And I easily surpassed that. And I thought, you know what? I'm absolutely loving reading. Let's go ahead and go for the big guns and set it for 100. Do I expect to reach that? No. Would I love to? Yes. So those are my goals. Number 13. Have you ever had the privilege of converting someone into a reader by inspiration of your incessant nagging? No. That goes back to the question, I do not bring up books in conversations. People may see and ask what I'm reading, but no one has ever told me that I've inspired them to pick up a book or read more. So if I did, I have no idea, but I expect not. Number 14, and the last question. Describe what books mean to you in 5 words. escaping my mind, fun, entertaining. There you go. Mostly, I think the biggest words are just escaping my mind, because my mind can just go and go. I can, as people say, overanalyze things. If I did things too much, not enough. Anyway, reading a book gets me out of that. And it can help lift me. If I'm reading the right book, it can help lift me from a depressive slump. And it can help lower me when I am jittery and anxious about things. So, calming would be another word. I know that's more than 5, but escapism, fun, calming, entertaining, and lifting. There you go. So that was the book addiction tag. Again, I was tagged by Becky and Scott from the Bookish Brands, and I'll have their channel listed below. I highly recommend checking them out if you have not. They are wonderful, put out wonderful videos. They do a lot of tags, and the answers to so many things on these tags that they give are awesome and funny and relatable. And I think one thing I like about tags is they're a great way to get to know people a little bit more than just, vlogs are great, but sometimes I think people will, with a vlog, film the best parts of their life or something that they think might be interesting and people will enjoy. There are some that will just put the nitty-gritty out there as well, which is great. I think it's more relatable, but I think tags are an even better way, in my personal opinion. I prefer watching tags over vlogs because I think tags are more honest and a really fun way to get to know people. So, and I know tags are not for everyone, and that's fine. I'll watch both vlogs and tags. I'll pretty much watch almost anything, but so yeah, I am just rambling now. So I will go ahead and wrap this up here. So until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book, and I will talk to you later.